And 8 years later, we have 2 kids. We live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the most famous and chilling cases in American history, the Watts family tragedy. In the beginning, just like in similar cases, the suspect claimed that someone else had kidnapped and killed his family. Before the truth even came to light, he actually went on national television, pleading for their safe return. So, how did it all begin? Shanann and Chris Watts met on Facebook through a mutual friend back in 2010. Chris came into Shanann's life during a very difficult period. In those dark times, Chris became a beacon of hope for her. Shortly after meeting, Shanann was telling everyone she had found the love of her life. Without waiting too long, they tied the knot in 2012, stepping into a life of apparent bliss. Soon after, they welcomed their daughters. Shanann had a wide circle of friends and was extremely active on social media. She loved sharing every detail of her life and worked as a marketing executive for a company called Thrive. Chris, on the other hand, worked for an oil company named Anadarko. In 2013, their first daughter, Bella, was born. In 2015, they welcomed their second daughter, Celeste. With the kids completing the family, they seemed to depict the absolute picture-perfect life. Living in Colorado, the Watts family appeared to radiate pure happiness to everyone around them. However, as 2018 approached, cracks began to show in their relationship. The spark was gone, and they were constantly at odds. To save their marriage, they decided to have another child. In 2018, Shanann became pregnant with a baby boy. She surprised Chris with the happy news, and they were thrilled. They even planned to name him Nick if he had been born. Then came August 2018, the fateful month that would draw the eyes of the entire world. Shanann occasionally traveled for work, with her last trip being to Arizona. On the night of August 13th, at 1:48 a.m., Shanann returned home from her trip, dropped off by her close friend, Nicole Atkinson. Shanann walked through her front door alive for the last time. That morning, Shanann had a doctor's appointment regarding her pregnancy. Her friend Nicole texted her to check in, but received no response. After a while, growing concerned, she called her again. No answer. Shanann also missed an important business meeting. Despite reaching out to Chris, Nicole couldn't get any answers about her friend. Around 12 p.m., she decided to go to the house herself. But the house was dead silent and eerie, heavy silence. When Nicole asked Chris for information, he acted surprisingly calm and strange. Unable to wait any longer, Nicole filed a missing persons report with the Frederick Police Department. The case immediately turned into a police investigation. When officers arrived, they couldn't enter because the door was locked. Right at that moment, Chris pulled up in his truck. When police asked to search the house, Chris was remarkably relaxed and allowed them inside. As officers searched for Shanann and the girls, Chris casually suggested they might have gone to a playdate at a park. However, Shanann's car was still in the garage, and her personal belongings, even her wedding ring, had been left behind in the house. The search continued for hours throughout August 13th. All eyes were on the Watts residence. Later that day, Chris Watts stood in front of TV news cameras, shedding crocodile tears, saying, "Shanann, kids, if you're out there, just come back." But as investigators dug deeper, shocking truths began to surface. It was revealed that Chris was having an affair with a co-worker named Nicole Kessinger. He had been seeing her for a while and wanted to leave Shanann, but couldn't because of the pregnancy. Furthermore, when examining a neighbor's security footage, detectives noticed that on the night of the disappearance, Chris had backed his pickup truck up to the garage and loaded something into the bed. Standing there, watching those tapes alongside the police, Chris began displaying extreme signs of anxiety and distress. Following a polygraph test, experts determined that Chris was blatantly lying. The lead detective confronted Chris, stating, "It's over. Tell us the truth." Chris responded, that he would only talk to his father. Once his father entered the room, Chris made a horrifying claim. He alleged that Shanann had strangled their daughters, and upon discovering the scene, he flew into a rage and killed Shanann in return. But the police didn't buy this lie. Eventually, Chris was forced to confess to the full crime and revealed where he had hidden the bodies. He had buried Shanann's body at an oil site where he worked and dumped his 2 tiny daughters into crude oil tanks. After the autopsy and evidence review, the judicial process began. Since the death penalty had been abolished in the state, Chris Watts was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 48 years for the unlawful termination of a pregnancy, to additional life sentences for the murder of the children, and 36 years for tampering with deceased human bodies. In February 2019, during a historic 5-hour prison interview, Chris Watts confessed for the very first time, second by second, how he brutally murdered his family. That brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next true crime story. Goodbye.